5 reasons to believe the Bible is true and accurate. This time on 5-Minute Disciple. Number 1, fulfilled prophecy. There are over 2,500 prophecies in Scripture. Over 2,000 of those have already been fulfilled. We know this because we have archaeologically verifiable evidence that these things have come to pass in history. Take the crucifixion of Jesus, for example. 500 years before Jesus was crucified, we had it written in Isaiah telling us accurately how it would go down. It's one thing for someone to make a claim that something is going to take place as a prophecy, but it's a whole nother deal when these things, one at a time, were verified through history. That alone should be enough for people to understand that the Bible itself is a supernatural document. Number 2, eyewitness accounts. The Bible was written by people who witnessed the events that they wrote. These things could have easily been disproven by other people that lived during the times. We have outside documents that were written at the same time that could have easily disproven or at least made claims to disprove the events that were foretold. One that comes to mind, there were hundreds of people that witnessed the ascension of Jesus Christ, that watched him ascend into heaven. Hundreds and hundreds of people. Now, if this would not have been true, it would have been easy for somebody that was there to come out and say, this didn't actually happen and I was there, these people were tripping. But that was never done. The eyewitnesses that wrote for the account, the disciples mainly, ended up dying for their faith. Ask yourself, why would someone make up a story or not believe it? The people that were there and saw it with their own eyes believed it till death. Why would someone die for something that wasn't true? Number 3, corroborating accounts. There are a number of historical documents written outside of the biblical text, other people in history. The most popular one would be Josephus, which was a Jewish man that wrote Jewish history taking place at the same time the New Testament was happening. Josephus gives us valuable insight to what was happening around the events. He talks about Jesus, he talks about Paul, and he talks about the events that are happening in the Bible. He doesn't believe some of the events as a Jewish man, but he gives us key insight to the actual people that actually existed during the time. So we have evidence from outside of Scripture, other historians living during the time that these people existed and these things took place. Number 4, archaeological evidence. There are 0 archaeological claims against the events that happen in Scripture. There have been some in the past, but it seems every time there's an objection to some historical activity, there ends up being some archaeological find that proves it true. The most recent one was there was a challenge to the existence of Pontius Pilate. Pontius Pilate was the Roman governor during the time of Jesus that sentenced Jesus to be crucified. There was a challenge that said he didn't exist because there's great record of Roman leaders and his name hadn't come up till that date. Fast forward a few years later, and what do you know? An archaeological find locates a headstone with the name Pontius Pilate in the area of Judea that was dated during the same time that the events happened. So once again, archaeology proved correct the events claimed in Scripture. There are no claims against what happened in church history, nor is there evidence that something that was claimed did not happen. Archaeology proves Scripture correct and has always been on the side of Scripture. Number 5, manuscript evidence. There are way more copies of biblical manuscripts with remarkable consistency between them than there are in other historical works such as Plato, Aristotle, and Socrates. The preservation and accuracy of the text after thousands of years is astounding and should be evidence of its supernatural nature. No other historical document comes close. Nothing can compare. The Bible has been preserved and confirmed in that preservation through many processes of comparing newly found text to the old text dated centuries previous. The preservation is astonishing. So there you have it. I present these 5 areas of evidence to prove that the Bible is accurate and reliable. There are a lot more than 5 areas I could have pointed to, but because the length of our videos is 5 minutes, those are the ones I felt I had time to cover at least somewhat briefly. I hope this was a blessing to you. I hope you learned something from this. I hope that this would encourage you to take further study. God bless you. Y'all have a great one. Leave a like and share. See you on the next one.